Hello and welcome to session 3 of Fallen Solo RPG. So the last time on session 2, we basically escaped the forest of the Dead Knight, and a lot of things happened. Firstly, we escaped Skafheim, and we killed a guard in there. Now we're wanted for murder, and we are known to be in Hillgrab. Samuel stole 2 pamphlets from the Dead Knight. That's not gonna be good. So the Dead Knight is after him, if the Dead Knight is still alive, because the Dead Knight was actually fighting with Captain Keldvik the last we saw. And Captain Keldvik knows that we are in Hillgrab, which is pretty bad. Also, we found a new friend, Carlos the Cleric, and Carlos feels that he owes Samuel even though Samuel has a bounty. The problem is that Carlos didn't exactly know what the bounty was for. We didn't even tell him that we murdered someone, so we're gonna see what his reaction is being a cleric and a holy person. Probably not gonna be as favorable as he was initially. That's my guess. The other thing is that we found a letter from Gaius Bloodsworth to Antonia Bloodsworth, who was the lover that we were trying to avenge the death of, and Gaius turned out to be a soldier. So that's another twist in the plot, and I don't know how that's gonna go, especially since we're gonna have to deliver news of Antonia's death to him. But unfortunately, Gaius being a soldier, he'll probably try to kill us if we do that. So, complications. Yeah. We also fell asleep in the criminal back alley of Hillgrab. And I also came up with this little thing that I'll explain later, the city hazard die. I'll explain that a little bit later. But firstly, let's talk about this. So, this is basically the same book, same Fallen book, but I have a fancy cover for it. I basically used Lulu and self-printed this copy, and I made the cover, I painted it up, and yeah, stuck it on there. And I really like how it came out. It has nice cream pages, really nice. So, that's that. The other thing I want to mention is Hillgrab. So we'll actually be using the pressure and penalty system from Hillgrab. The way it works is there's city pressure and penalties, and we're going to be marking off each time we get pressure. We'll be marking this off. Once we get to 7 bubbles filled in, then we note 1 penalty and clear all of the bubbles. So that's going to be something else that we're going to have to keep track of as well. What this does is that every time you have a penalty, whenever you want to do something related to that activity, you get a minus whatever penalty it is from your roll. In addition, there's clues and investigations. We do have a contact, Carlos. We don't know how he's going to react to the fact that we murdered a guard. We also have a potential contact, Gaius, but we are going to have to communicate with him somehow without involving the rest of the soldiers. Somehow be able to meet up with him one-on-one and explain our situation properly. I don't know how any of that is going to go. We'll have to see. But first, let's actually write out the city pressure stuff. I'm just going to use this dungeon space to write out the pressure and penalties. So let's see here. Okay, let's transfer it over. I think it's going to be fair to say that now that we've entered Hillgrab with a bounty on our heads, it's gonna be 2 bubbles at least of pressure. So we're gonna note that off. And also you can reduce pressure. There's examples here: turning in stolen money, helping a relevant character in distress, etc, etc. Okay, so there's that. So where did we end up sleeping the night before? I believe we ended up sleeping in Rat's Maze, or Fort Town, as it's also called, the criminal district of Hillgrab. So the question is, we fell asleep in a back alley somewhere, right? Where exactly, were we closest to? I think that's a good question to ask first before we go any further. So we're going to roll a d12 on that, and let's see here. It's gonna be a 7. Lemuel's fortune telling, an actual psychic. Okay. I had a plan for what we were gonna do in order to talk to Gaius. We're actually going to look at the Fallen reference sheet here that I have, and we're gonna look at if the scene is actually altered. What the scene is, I'm not gonna say yet. I'll reveal that after. But we're gonna have to roll 2d6 and a d8. And let's see here. If both d6s are under the d8, alter the scene. Okay, so both d6s were under the d8, so the scene is altered. What the scene was gonna be was, I was gonna say that Samuel does not get a good night's rest. He does try to rest, but he's not able to. I think he wakes up in the middle of the night. He takes out his pamphlet of Dream Web, which is entering dreams, and he looks at it, and he decides to try to enter the dreams of Gaius Bloodsworth. So, is this going to work out? Well, we're gonna have to do an incantation roll. But now that we know that the scene is altered, I think I'm gonna make it interesting here. So he's going to do an incantation roll. Let's see how that works out. So looking at the rules for incantations, it's gonna be here. We basically do a regular skill check, and we can do that right now. Firstly, what is his skill in incantation? Let's take a look. It is 0. Okay. So not only that, he can't use any of his luck dice. So I'm actually gonna roll on this. And he gets a failure. Take 1 fear token and roll curse. Okay, so the scene was altered. He tried to use the incantation of the Dream Web, the pamphlet that he got from the Dead Knight. He was unable to successfully. He doesn't enter the dream of Gaius. He instead gets interrupted by none other than the psychic who he's literally sleeping next to. So firstly, we gotta take 1 fear token and roll curse. So let's see here. Curse. Let's see, what kind of curse does Samuel get? 4. Rift-sick. You become temporarily nauseous with the malpractice of magic and you lose your next action. So Samuel, having attempted to use this pamphlet and not being very familiar with dark magic or incantations, he starts feeling extremely sick, as if something is wrenching in his body and something is entering his consciousness. So he's going to take a fear token for that. And I believe, let's see how fear tokens work again. For every fear token that you have, you must reduce any test result by that much. Okay, so Samuel gains a fear token, gains a curse, and something starts wrenching into his consciousness. The psychic that he's next to has detected that he is trying to enter someone's dream. And who is this psychic? Let's see again. Lemuel. Lemuel's fortune telling, an actual psychic. So the question is, what is Lemuel like? I think we can roll up an NPC right now. What is Lemuel's personality? I'm gonna say they're a male. What's their personality like? Let's see here, D20. There's gonna be an 8. Greedy. Okay, they're greedy and they see an opportunity here of some kind. I don't think we're gonna roll their motive yet. I think we're actually gonna see what we can figure out about what they're trying to get us to do here now that they've invaded our consciousness. Now they can actually speak to us in our minds. I'm sure they know that we are being hunted down now that they're in our mind. So that's nearly for certain. But what I want to know is, what kind of thing do they want us to do? So for that, we're gonna look at our oracle here. And we're gonna roll 2d6. 1 and 1. Broken. Devil. Broken and devil. They're greedy. They've invaded our consciousness. There's a symbol of a demon or something here. I remember that we got a symbol of the demon for the plague as well when we were back in Schafheim. And the Lord Vlade was trying to explain the reason why there was a plague. Maybe... Oh, I know what this is. I think this psychic enters our brain and they're greedy and they want something from us. And they're gonna threaten to turn us in if we don't do a job for them. I think that's what this is gonna be. So, we're gonna have to do a job for this psychic. I think Samuel's brain starts hurting and he feels this psychic enter his mind and he says, I am Lemuel. What are you doing dark magic in Red's Maze of all places? This is my domain. And I think Samuel goes, actually, how does he react? I think he's gonna be very, very confused. He's never done dark magic before. He has this weird voice speaking in his head. I'm not sure how he's gonna react. I think he's not gonna say anything. He's just going to be very cautious about this. So Lemuel says, I know that you are being hunted down. I know that people are looking for you. I can afford to hide you, but perhaps for a cost. Samuel's like, so what will you have me do? Lemuel thinks about it for a moment, and let's actually see. Maybe let's look at the whispers on this. Maybe there's something here that we can use. Let's roll a d12. 2. A highway job tomorrow. I know that you are a rogue and you have experience with stealing from people. Stealing from the upper class, as it were. He's invaded like Samuel's memories and he knows about this. Now I want you to steal from other criminals. There's going to be a robbery tomorrow on the highway. If you can intercept them and you can instead get the loot for yourself in the confusion, I may perhaps be able to aid you. Samuel is like, oh my god, look, I can do this for you, and apparently I don't have much choice, but I'm going to have to need some rest. I haven't had proper rest in, god, I don't know how long, and I'm exhausted. Does Lemuel offer him into his house in order to let him rest? I'm gonna say that's, I don't know, it's 50-50, because he does want Samuel to be well rested to do the job, but Samuel is kind of a dangerous person as well, so it's 50-50. 18. He does let Samuel in. You're in the back alley. Come out of it, turn right, you'll see a door. Lemuel's fortune telling. Knock on it twice. I'll let you in. Samuel does so, and he is greeted by an aged looking fortune teller of some kind. But despite his age, there's a sparkle in his eye. And Lemuel says, come in before the others see you. He comes on in. Lemuel's like, maybe offers him some tea or something, and says, you need rest. I will let you use one of my bids for tonight. Tomorrow you set out, you do this job for me, and I may yet be able to assist you. So Samuel is very taken aback by all this, but he agrees. He hasn't had a proper companion in this city, and this might be a way to gain one. So we're gonna write that down. Lemuel the Psychic. That's cool. Okay, so we're gonna also write down a mission, which is to rob the highwayman. And I'm going to say that Samuel is now well rested. So he gets to remove these. Unfortunately, I don't think he gets to remove his fear points. Let me check. Oh yeah, that's bad. He has to rest in his place of peace, which will be a solitary cave. So we are gonna have to see whether the job is near such a place, and maybe he can rest after. But we already determined that the job is pretty soon, and it's kind of dangerous, a dangerous place to be. So we're gonna have to determine what kind of job is this gonna be. How dangerous is it going to be? Are there more than 2 highwaymen? Let's say just 50-50. Are there more than 2 highwaymen? If it is, then we'll roll maybe a d2 plus 2. Yes, there are. Unfortunate. So we're gonna have to roll, let's see here. That's going to be 4 highwaymen. Oh, that's bad. That's really bad. We're gonna have to figure out a proper plan. So Samuel asks Lemuel in the morning, so these highwaymen, how many of them are there? Lemuel answers without hesitation, there's going to be 4 of them. Samuel's eyes widen. He's like, you want me to take on 4 highwaymen by myself? Is there going to be any kind of complication that he can use? Some kind of information that can maybe help aid him in this? I'm gonna say it's likely. I'm gonna say that Lemuel being a psychic, he probably knows something about this. I'm gonna take the higher of this. And that's gonna be a 19. High yes. So Lemuel says, fear not, I have some information on how the job is going to proceed. You will be able to take them by surprise, and the next question is Lemuel able to spare him something, like some kind of weapon, maybe a gun of some kind? I'm gonna say that's 50-50. I don't think a psychic might have access to those things. 16. Yes, he does. Okay. I think he's going to offer Samuel. Let's see here. Let's look at the equipment list. Musket makes sense. So here, I'll give you this musket that I have, this old musket. So Samuel takes it. So Samuel's like, okay, so what's this information that you have on these highwaymen? I don't know, what kind of information is it? I'm gonna roll that on the oracle table. 32, that's going to be protection, or lack thereof maybe. Maybe they don't have any protection. Or maybe he knows where their protection lies. Yeah, I think that's good. I think he's gonna say their protection lies in their strategic positioning. So some of them are going to be in certain parts of the forest waiting to take down a carriage. The carriage is going to have a shipment on it. And Samuel asks, and what is the shipment going to have? Is he gonna tell him? I'm gonna say it's 50-50 again. Yes, he's gonna tell him. What is the shipment carrying? 42. Some kind of secret. Okay. There is some kind of parchment on the carriage that I would like you to take for me. The rest, the gold, weapons, equipment, whatever you might find on the carriage, that's yours. But that parchment is not to be touched. You do not open it, you take it directly back to me, and perhaps this might be the start of a friendship. Okay, so the strategic positioning is that he knows exactly where in the forest they're gonna be. They're going to be in separate parts trying to take down the carriage. And he knows where each of them are gonna be, so he can stealthily come up and take them down. I think that's going to be the general gist of it. Okay, so let's write it down actually. Cool, okay, we now know the details of this. So my next question is, it's on the road, right? Are we able to just travel there naturally? I think in order to figure that out, we're gonna use it as a scene of some kind. So we're gonna do the roll 2d6 and 1d8 again. So we're gonna do this and a d8. And that's going to be... Nope, the scene is not altered this time. So he's able to reach there successfully without any incident whatsoever. Now he still has the fear token, so the question is it more in the wilderness? We determine is it kind of in the forest of some kind? But yeah, like is it kind of like near a cave that he can rest at before he goes into the job? I'm gonna say that's 50-50. Nope, unfortunately not. So he bids Lemuel goodbye. He says he'll try to finish the job. He reaches the place without incident, before the highwaymen are there, before the carriage is there, and he settles down and he makes his preparations. So what are his preparations here? He has the musket, he has his saber, he has Raven's Blood Scourge. That's good. Raven's Blood Scourge is basically an elixir that prevents you from being able to be seen, heard or smelled. So he's going to use that up. So I'm going to erase this. And I'm going to say that his stealth gets a +2. Just purely because of that, and because he's in camouflage. And his stealth, I think, already gets a +1 because of the situation that he's in. They're not expecting somebody to rob the robbers, so, you know, we'll see how that goes. So he has stealth. So there's gonna be a 2 plus a 1 plus 2 because we took the elixir, but it's not gonna last the entire time, I think. I think we're gonna say this. We're gonna use this huge die today. Now we know that we get a +3 at first, so we're gonna start that off at let's see here, at a 3. Then it's going to go to a 2, then it's going to go to a 1. Once that happens, and it goes to a 0, he no longer has the stealth advantage. Each turn, it will go down by 1. So he'll be trying out his stealth 3 turns, and he'll be trying to use that to take out 3 of the highwaymen. Let me just draw the scene a little bit, actually. So the way I'm thinking about it is that there's this road down here, right? Something like that. And there's supposed to be several highwaymen stationed on several portions here. We'll just do a few punched out tokens and then we'll just use those temporarily. So we got 1 here, 2 here, 3 here, and 4. 4 highwaymen. Each one, I'm going to say, has a D4 rank. I'm gonna say that since there's 4 of them, I'm gonna give myself a break and say that each of them has a D4 rank. So we're gonna say once we deal them 1 wound, they're basically out. So these are where they are gonna be. They haven't arrived yet, so I'm just gonna put this away like that. And if they take a harm, we'll just note that down as well. So we got the image of Samuel here. And Samuel is probably going to be camping out, I think around here, waiting for them to come on in. So I'm gonna draw the forest out as well. Let me just put these away for the moment. So it's gonna be quite thick forest here and there like that. And I think Samuel is gonna be stationed over here. We're gonna create 1 more token, and that is going to be for the carriage or cart or whatever it may be, carrying the goods. So we have a carriage here. I probably should have done this before I punched out the holes, to be honest. Alright, so we have 4 ne'er-do-wells and our ne'er-do-well, and we have the carriage coming down this way. So the question is, firstly, is Samuel able to take out the first guy? As we said, he has an advantage of 3 plus the 2 stealth that he already has. For this guy, he'll be trying to stealth it, so he'll be using his saber, and he'll be basically trying to take this guy out without any of the others noticing. So as the carriage comes by, he hears the sound of this person approaching right here. I don't think he can see far enough to be able to tell in the trees that this guy's approaching. Maybe just barely. And they all start taking their positions, and let's see if this guy is aware that Samuel is right behind him, about to attack. So we're gonna start with an additional 5. So that's gonna be a really high amount. So that's going to be a complete success. So he's able to get some stealth on this guy. So in order to do a melee attack, he's gonna have to use his strength. So he's gonna use a melee attack, strength test. He has a strength of 1, 5, 6, 7, 7, 8. So he has a complication of some kind. So that's going to be dealing his weapon harm. His weapon harm is going to be a d6. So let's see, let's hope he gets a 4 or higher. 2! Oh my god, my luck strikes again. Oh no. So, oh that's bad. So he kind of like stabs into this guy. I think the guy shouts. Is it loud enough for the others to hear? Is Samuel able to like grab a hand onto this guy's mouth before the other people hear? That's already pretty bad. Let's see here. That's going to be an agility check, I think. So that's bad because his agility is 0. I'm not gonna use any of my luck dice yet. Oh my god, I should have used my luck dice. I should have used my luck dice. That is a failure, unfortunately. He screams out. Everybody is alerted. The carriage, I think, has come to here at this point, and the carriage suddenly stops as this cry comes out from the forest. Now, what happens at this point? What are they gonna do? What is the carriage gonna do? Does the carriage turn back, or does it stop to investigate? Let's see. Does the carriage turn back? Oh no! The carriage immediately rears up and starts turning back. The rest of the highwaymen immediately come out and start enacting their plan. So that's gonna go down to 2. Samuel has not been found out yet, but he's engaged in combat with this guy. The others start moving in. Oh, that's bad. So Samuel has to contend with this guy, and he's gonna have to roll actual initiative now. And unfortunately, the foe goes first. The foe has, I'm gonna say, D4 damage. So he's gonna have to avoid that using his agility, but he is going to use his luck dice at this point. So I'm going to remove his focus, and I'm gonna add 1 more D6. That's going to be a success, and Samuel is able to parry and deal 1 harm to the highwayman who is struggling beneath him. He gets to go next. He just needs to land 1 hit and the guy is done. Just a complication should be okay as well. So let's go. Yes, just barely. So he gets 7, which is a complication, and that means that he deals his weapon harm, and there's gonna be a 2. The guy is out. He's able to kill the guy as these guys start coming in towards the carriage. The carriage is trying to rear the horse backwards. He's gonna wait for them to intercept the carriage. The question is, does the carriage get out first? And he only gets 1 more additional benefit here because it's another turn. Does the carriage get out first, or do they intercept it first? I think it's a high chance that these guys are gonna be able to intercept it. So we'll see. Oh my god, no! The carriage is able to rear back and make a run for it. It's not out of it yet, but they're not able to catch up with it, so they're still all scattered about. And Samuel isn't able to get a good bead on them, and he's not able to basically ambush them properly. So he has to come out into sight, which means he doesn't get a stealth advantage anymore. Oh no. So he's going to try to take out this guy right here. This is gonna be bad. Let's see. Is he able to take out this guy? He's gonna be using his stealth for this, and he's not gonna be able to have any additional modifiers, but he does get a +2 from his stealth skill, and that's gonna be a complication. So what happens on a stealth complication? Let's find out. Achieve the intended goal by roll 1d8 on the suffer fate table. Okay, so he's able to actually damage the guy, but what happens to him? Let's see here. Who? A new development complicates the situation. Oh no! He's able to come in and he's able to deal his harm or his wound to this guy, depending on which. Let's see. How much damage does he get on the guy? This is gonna be a 7. He's gonna deal his weapon harm. Please get a 4 or more. Please get a 4 or more. Oh my god! Oh my god! No! 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 That's bad. The new complication that occurs is that all of them start to congregate on Samuel now that they see that like he's kind of like attacking their companion. I think what happens is one of them goes after Samuel, the other one goes for the carriage. The carriage is still trying to get it out of there. It's a bad situation for everybody involved. The carriage is in danger. The highwaymen are gonna lose their mark, and Samuel here is gonna lose the stuff inside the carriage. So it's a bad situation all around. Now, what happens next? We're gonna have to roll initiative, I think, for this. So, during the battle, there's gonna be 3. The foes go first. Oh no! He's gonna roll his agility to try to dodge this. I don't think he's gonna use his luck yet. 7. Oh no! He takes the weapon harm. The weapon harm is going to be a d4, so that's going to be 2. I believe that his armor is 2, so he's able to take that no problem. That's good. Okay, that's good. Samuel is able to come out of it unharmed, but he has to take out this guy before this guy moves in. This guy is still dealing with the carriage. We'll see what happens with that. This guy is moving in, and he is coming into melee range soon. This guy starts to attack Samuel, and he was unable to do any harm to Samuel, so Samuel is able to try to damage him now. So that's gonna be a strength check, and he misses. Oh no, that's a miss. So that actually means that there's a -1 to the next initiative test. That's really bad. That's really bad. I think at this point Samuel is really desperate. He doesn't want the carriage to go away. He doesn't want to basically get killed by these guys either. I think what's going to happen is on his next turn he's going to try to use the pamphlet Pillage Illuminate, which basically will cast the entire area into darkness, and he's going to use 2 luck dice for that. So before that though, we're gonna have to roll initiative with a -1. That is Samuel's turn, so 6 minus 1 is 5. That is still Samuel's turn. Samuel reaches out, he uses his strength, he uses his will, so he gets basically 4 dice, and he casts Pillage Illuminate, and he makes it no problem. So Pillage Illuminate casts the entire area into darkness, and suddenly everybody is confused. The carriage is confused, the horse is neighing, the person trying to get to the carriage is confused as well. Everybody's put into a state of absolute confusion. Also, I forgot, I should have been minusing his fear points from his rolls. I'll be doing that from now on, but we make mistakes, it's gonna happen. Okay, so holy shit. So he cast the entire area into darkness using his pamphlet, which then disintegrates into dust. Everybody's confused. I think it is going to give him, I'm gonna say it's a +2, which means minus his fear is going to be a +1 modifier for him to be able to gain an advantage over this. He's gonna get a modifier of 2, I think. That's what I'm gonna say. I think he's gonna get a modifier of +2. There's gonna be 1. And as they get used to the darkness, it's going to go out. They will basically be able to see again, and Samuel won't get the advantage anymore. So that's bad. But for now, he does get an advantage. He's going to use his stealth. That's going to be a +4. That's going to do it. And he's going to be able to deal a free attack to this guy, basically. So... oh no! Oh no! He gets -1 to the next initiative test. So unfortunately, he was not able to damage the guy. Does he keep going with this? I think he is. So we're gonna go down to 1. There's going to be a +3 to his stealth. +3 overall to his stealth because he has a +2 stealth skill. And then he has a 1 modifier. But before that, they're gonna be able to try to attack him. So we're gonna roll for initiative, minusing a 1. And that's gonna be Samuel's turn first. Samuel is able to strike again. He deals harm. 2. Oh no! He's not quite able to get this guy. They are able to try to attack him as well with a -1 to their modifier, so it's gonna be a +1 to his defense. He makes it, he's able to make it. He doesn't get attacked by this guy, but this guy comes in and now he's able to try to attack Samuel as well at a -1 modifier. Now this is out of the table. He's gonna try to have to use his stealth here to try to get one last attack on this guy and take him out. It's gonna be a tough call. Is he able to do it? No, he's not. He's not able to do it. In fact, that's a complete miss. So let's see what happens on a stealth miss. So on a stealth miss, you suffer fate. What happens to Samuel? 3. A new development complicates the situation. Oh no. A new development. Is the carriage gone? That's the only thing I can think of. What a disaster! That's gonna be likely. That's the first thing that comes to mind, actually. Oh no. The carriage is gone. The carriage has gone off. And I think the remaining highwaymen tried to chase after it, but now, unable to get to it, he comes back to join his companions, and Samuel sees that he's completely outclassed here. He's gonna have to try to escape. This is a complete failure of a mission, unfortunately. This was a complete failure. He's gonna have to try to escape from this situation, and in order to do that, he has to do a flee action, which means that he's going to at least take 1 harm, and he has to get a will test of +10, which is very hard to do. So we're gonna try to roll that. Oh no. He's gonna try to flee. He has to try to flee. If this does not get 10+, he might die here. He does it! He gets 11. So he's able to flee. He takes 1 damage to his rank, which actually, because he rested, he should have been 6, so it goes down to 5. So that's actually correct. So, to sum it up, not only was he unable to get a carriage, he is now not wanted by just the law, but also by the criminal underworld of Hillgrab. Samuel is getting into more and more trouble here. Oh my god. And also, he will not be able to get his potential ally, Lemuel. That is a complete disaster. That is a complete disaster. Oh my god. Is he able to get back to Hillgrab even? So I should actually be doing a venture roll on that. So let's see here. Skills. He will need to do a venture roll to get back to Hillgrab without incident. And that's going to be very bad because he does not have skills in that and he cannot use any luck dice. He unfortunately has to try to make it back without any issue. And he gets a complication. He reaches the waypoint but with difficulty. Roll the UD. So he's gonna roll his UD, which is 8. Oh my god. Okay, he's fine with the UD. Roll 1d6, suffer fate if it's 1 to 4, and there's no further event if it's 5 to 6. There's no further event. Fortunate. Okay, so he's able to get back to Hillgrab, and he tries to get back to Lemuel's fortune-telling house. I'm not sure. But he tries to get back to Lemuel. But I think there's a high likelihood that Lemuel does not want to be associated with Samuel. Samuel just failed very, very badly. I'm gonna say it's likely that Lemuel does not want to talk to him. Yeah, it's a 14. Samuel comes back. He knocks at Lemuel's door. Lemuel's like, "Who are you?" "I'm Samuel. Let me in." Lemuel says, "I don't know of anyone named Samuel. We're closed for the moment. You'll have to find somewhere else." And Samuel gets the message. He's not wanted. In fact, this goes up. He attempted a crime, and not only that, he made an enemy as well here. Yeah, that's really, really bad. So, oof. I think at this point is a complete abject failure. But there's one last thing that we're gonna have to do before we end off today's disastrous session. We're gonna have to roll on the city hazard die. So this is a list that I made myself that I'm gonna roll on and see if anything happens on each day that I'm inside Hillgrab. So let's see. He's gonna try to find a place to rest, but before that, let's roll the city hazard die. And we get a 2, so nothing happens, thankfully. He's gonna need to find a place to rest. Is he able to find some kind of inn? I mean, he has gold, but he needs to find somewhere that he can lie low. And I think instead of 1 coin, it's gonna be 2 coins because he needs to make sure that they're a place where people can't find him. So I'm gonna say that's 2 coins off. And he's almost broke now. No money, being hunted down by criminals, being hunted down by law enforcement. In a very, very, very dangerous spot here. So I'm gonna put him back up to full. But Samuel still has a fear rating there. And he is in a horrible, horrible spot right now. I think what's gonna happen here is he needs to figure out how he's going to navigate this situation. He needs to find a contact within Hillgrab or something or the other. So I think on the next day, before we end off, he tries to find Carlos. He goes to the cathedral and he tries to find Carlos. What is Carlos's reaction towards him? We're just going to say we're going to do a diplomacy roll. We're going to see, are we able to placate Carlos? Oh no. So that actually is a complete failure. Carlos wants nothing to do with us. He does not want to be associated with a murderer. And I think at this point, I think it's safe to say that Carlos probably calls out for the guards. Is that going to be the case? Yes. It's a high 20. Calls out for the guards, and we have to escape. We have to escape the cathedral somehow. We have to escape into the back alleys. I'm gonna do one last stealth roll. If we fail, we get caught by the guards, and we'll have to deal with that the next session. And I think this time there's no getting out of it. I think we're gonna be thrown into the dungeon. If we succeed, however, we're able to live another day. Stealth. 4. Oh no. Yep. We get caught by the guards. That's really, really bad. We get caught by the guards, and we get thrown into the dungeon. What will happen next, now that Samuel is literally thrown into a dungeon and probably awaiting trial? He's wanted by the criminals, he's been caught by the law, he has no friends in this hostile city, and he's about to face trial. We'll find out in the next session, I guess. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed that.